I've lived it all. So I come from the fucking gutter and also come from a lineage of great men stepping in and fulfilling the role to help men turn into men or boys turn into men. Well, what's up, guys? You are not going to hear this story too often. Not really something I want to touch on or emphasize and continue to talk about. However, how do you know about the hero story if you don't necessarily know the villains? My personal story is so much more than just being a creator. Got to go back in history and talk about the heritage in order to get a true understanding of who I am and who I am still growing into and developing to be. So you got mom and dad, right? So my great-grandfather, never met him. Grandfather was in headlines in the news and newspapers back in the day for being like a Bonnie and Clyde and ended up in jail. He was murdered in prison over a bad drug deal. Yes, so that is my mother's father. Grandmother was amazing. My mother was adopted. However, the grandfather's side, not the best. The grandfather was adopted by an amazing man, and my great-grandmother was amazing. The great-grandfather was amazing. He adopted this gentleman. Adopted him when he was a little older. He never didn't experience enough influence to contribute in a positive way to society. So then you have my mother, and my mother, her father died in prison over a bad drug deal, was adopted by another man, another great man, helped raise her, and he is who we call Grandpa today. Now we have dad's side. Again, great. Let's see. So that would be my grandfather. I don't know the greats at all. Grandfather was murdered on his front porch. He, who knows, had some sort of altercation. He was a Hell's Angel. My uncle was the great uncle, was the chapter president of the Hell's Angels in Livermore. And then so it goes, my grandmother is still alive, bless her soul, and goes down to the dad, biological dad. He struggled with addiction, and I don't know, he overdosed on some medication and ended up passing away. And so then we go into, I was adopted by an amazing man who is a god amongst men and has helped develop me into the person that I am. And so I have lived my life in a very abandoned state, not because I was necessarily abandoned, but because I wasn't. Another man took on another man's responsibilities and raised me. My biological father, he was adopted. My mother was adopted and raised by another man. And that grandfather was adopted and raised by another man. And so generations of abandonment and generations of another man stepping in and fulfilling the role as a male leader and example. I've lived it all. So I come from the fucking gutter and also come from a lineage of great men stepping in and fulfilling the role to help men turn into men or boys turn into men. This has truly blessed and hindered me in many ways. I think it has, because of these things, I think I had a very childlike mentality for a very long time. I stayed in those mentalities of abandonment as a child, and it really took me a very long time to grow up. Created some, bad mentalities and of not caring, or maybe caring too much, or caring about the wrong things. And so anyway, this is part of my journey, and I am still becoming the person I'm supposed to be. I'm almost about to hit 40, and essentially, I might not even be to my optimum growth until I'm 80. Who knows, but every day is a new battle, and every day is a day to be thankful for, and understand that we're blessed beyond measure. And I was taken in, and I have generations of people that have been taken in and adopted and taught or attempted to teach these men how to become men. And so luckily I am not following those same paths. I have made some very bad decisions in life and experimented with drugs and all the dumb shit of just being a normal youth kind of growing up. However, I have not taken those same pathways in any way. And so anyway, if you are experiencing or have experienced abandonment, there is hope for you. You're not alone. I hope you are surrounded by a community. And if you are not, build one. It is in your power to do so. That is a little bit of the behind the scenes. This is not all sunshine and rainbows and creativity at all time at its finest. You know, there's always the hero and villain story. And I'm not saying that all of these people were villains, but, you know, you don't know the story of the person that you might be talking to sometimes. So I encourage you to have hope. If you've ever experienced abandonment, try and be there for yourself. It's the number one thing. Very important to not wallow in those things and not wallow in the truth of your pasts, but to create a future for yourself. So I hope that helps. Super long video. I am out of here.